Hello everyone, my name is Binks and welcome back to Let's Play The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2. The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. I forgot I'm supposed to say that instead. Anyway, we are in case 1. Uh, what is it called? Something, the blossoming something. Oh, I should have started with the other. Uh, what was it? Oh, forget it. Anyway, Binks is a little discombobulated today. Still going through illness. It's still going through stuff. Got a lozenge in my mouth. Sorry. Anyway, last episode we were dealing with our buddy pals here, also Naga and Natsume. And there's also some weird paparazzi dude, which I didn't comment much on, but there haven't been any other suspects yet. So I'm thinking he might have done it, because so far nobody else has come up. And I'm like, okay, is it you? Kind of obvious. I mean, you know how it goes, right? It's the first trial, first case, first trial. So it's probably him. Unless, I mean, you never know. They might have some other rando appear. Um, I seriously doubt it would be somebody else we know and care about. And I would be shocked and horrified if it would actually be our client. So it has to be the paparazzi, right? Um, but we're waiting for him to have his moment. He's just been in the background so far. I'm waiting for him to have his dramatic reveal. So yeah, we'll let you have your time in the spotlight, sir. You'll have your big paparazzi moment. Don't worry. Maybe in this episode. All right, forensic medicine primer. In your last episode, I was getting all worked up, getting angry, thinking it was all about sexism and stuff about the whole medicine thing. But no, it was a legitimate them being angry about. No, if you pull out the knife, that's a rookie mistake, Biggs. I'm like, oh, okay, they're kind of right about that. But still, I think I had a legitimate like, no, but wait, she literally could have been trying to save her life, okay? Okay. I was being very defensive of her and feminist about it, but still, I was probably overreacting. Anyway, uh, I jumped the gun. I jumped the shark. Um, did did we did we press anything? I feel like I read all this already. Oh lord, did we? Heavy bleeding, basic knowledge. Yeah, reset all this. Okay, she had a motive. Uh-huh. I don't think I pressed anything. I think I just read it. Oh, but I didn't press anything. Should I have been pressing? I probably should have been pressing, right? This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals like pressing, Binks. Why didn't you press?
For some reason, I couldn't remember if I had done it last time. Sorry. The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though, called pressing! You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail, too.
Oh, okay. We haven't really done that yet, right? I mean, I know, but they haven't talked about it yet. Ah!
I realize this is your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom in this game.
Right. This is still tutorial mode.
So if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do?
I know what to do.
Come to think of it. Oh, what did I do? Kazuma-sama and Nodohodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Okay, they're telling me I should examine stuff. So, which I did. Okay, let's look it over again because it's been a while since I last recorded. Like a week or so, I don't remember. It's from behind, piercing a lung, fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis, pupil. I'm waiting for that to come into play. Pupil constriction. Every time I see that, I think of a few things. I think of suffocation, like she was strangled, or maybe poisoning. God, I think I've complained about it a couple times in a few other LPs. My biggest pet peeve with murder in games is poison. I think I say this in almost every single kind of like death game or something. I hate poison. It's so weak. It's so lame. It's so boring and overdone. It's so easy. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but like, bleh. I get it. I get it, okay? It's like, if you're gonna kill someone in real life, I'd be like, yeah, it's probably like the go-to, right? It's an easy method. It's simple. It's less messy and rather than having to go through the hassle and the trauma and the potential of whoopsie almost getting yourself killed, right? But yeah, I hate poisoning. I really do. I really do. Coco in particular, she knows. She knows. I hate it. I hate it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope poisoning is not involved. It was involved with Giselle Brett in the first game, so just call it a gut instinct, y'all. A gut. My gut is telling me. If Giselle is involved, I say, and I see the wine, y'all. I see the wine glass. That's what makes me say, just because she got stabbed doesn't mean she wasn't also poisoned. Oh, please let me be wrong. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm just saying. And the pen. What's up with the pen? It's weird to me, right? Like, if you're about to die, and you're in, like, the sand. I know that they're saying, oh, she grabbed it to identify her murderer? I don't know, it's just weird to me. Weird. Okay, I know that... Oh! Oh, we could look at this now. We couldn't before, right? Because last time I only had the... I was only able to like zoom in with the magnifying glass. Rocus, England returnees, tell all. This is the interview with you and Soseki-san. Is it, father? It looks as though it was quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck.
Oh, he literally did karate chop you. Oh no. So I read someone's comment that apparently in like a post-credits scene in the first game, because I was wondering, because I thought that he had left his cat behind with them when he left England, that apparently he had taken a kitten with him, and I didn't know that, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I didn't know that they had kittens, so he has a kitten with him now. I'm like, oh, that's really cute. I do hope you weren't hurt. Nice little info. Okay, can we turn it around? Yeah. And this is the newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Oh no! Didn't I just frickin' tell y'all? My gut instinct was right. Dagnabbit. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Why was I correct? Why am I right about this? Why? Why? It just had to be poison. Giselle Brett equals poison. I think it's because in my mind she is like Dahlia Hawthorne. She just reminds me of her, right? There's just something about her that she reminds me of her. And Dahlia equals poison. There's just something about her, right? Her personality, her role in the game kind of is similar to her in a way. I would like to actually, if I could do like a video analysis on her similarities to Dahlia, I totally would. Interesting, interesting. From Yume's medical research? Father, isn't that your lab?
What the? Let me see that. The poison's been stolen.
It's this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. How on earth could the reporter have gleaned this information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning this story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Oh? Ray! She was managing it.
If what's written here is true...
Ray? So they're saying she poisoned her? Oh no.
It means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
The article about the poison has been entered into the court record. Even my father, who's responsible for the lab, knew nothing of the incident. Oh, snap. That was very important. Holy moly. Oh, boy. Let's examine everything. If we take off the pen's lid... Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? RM. Oh. No. No. If you take off the pen's lid, unscrew the barrel. Is there something in it? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Okay. Fountain pen bearing the initials RM. It has a small reservoir inside into which ink can be drawn. There's a very small amount of liquid still inside. They must be saying that for a reason. Anything else of note? There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
Must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. That would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray.
Okay. Interesting. Anything else? RM. Anything else of note about this pen? I'm suspicious about the pen, y'all. I'm gonna say it right now. I've been kind of sus about it, especially now that we know about the poison. And the fact that there's nothing inside it, like no ink. And I'm also sus about the glass of wine, of course. So if not the wine glass, then it's the pen. One or the other might have been the vessel for the poison. Because if she wasn't, like, if she was stabbed, something appears obviously. Doesn't mean that the stab, like the poisoning, doesn't mean that she ingested the poison through her mouth. Like, it could have been a stabbing. The wound carried the poison, you know? Interesting. Interesting. Let me read this one again. Single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung. If it pierced her lung, fatal hemorrhage, death within minutes, then that means that the poison would have gone like directly into her lung. Like she aspirated the poison. She actually breathed it in then. Yikes. And then her pupils constricting. Like I said, maybe that's why it kind of looked like she suffocated. Very interesting. Okay. Hemorrhage means she bled to, bleeding to death, technically. Okay, have a lot of thoughts. Very interesting. Yes, I need to examine things, greater detail. Alright, we did. We found a lot.
Ah, by the looks in your eyes, I see it's coming back to you.
Yeah.
Go through the court record again, have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue.
Okay, we just did find a lot. Yes, I'll do it straight away. Alright. Heavy bleeding. What are we going to present or something now? Blah blah blah. Hold on. Hold on. No. No, I need to... Shut up. I know. Silence. Oh. I'm trying to think of which one to... Maybe I should press him. I'm trying to think of what statement would be best to... Let's see. You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be alright? You wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really, but... The blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it. Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation. You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath. Back to the witness testimony, please. Okay, well, I'm just gonna press until I see an opening then. In that case, there's an obvious explanation here. Which one is the best one? I need to think, which is... Clearly, the defendant, Ray Membalmi-san, does not possess an ounce of sense. No. Why? Why would you do this, Susato? Why? What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba? Excuse me. I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense. Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer. Kind of rude either way, but yeah. I don't know. Young people today, if that's friendship, I don't understand it. Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. Damn, that's gonna hurt if you get hit by that thing. Oh dear. That recoiled on me rather badly. Ray's standing over there crying. Like, how could you? Susato-san, how could you? That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Okay. Being involved in medical research, Membalmi-san would certainly have been aware of it. Okay, is it this one? There's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. There must be some way. But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally. Oh, but irrational behavior... No, why? I mean, I know you're pretending to be a man, but come on, don't do this. But irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it? Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Wow! A man defending a woman to a woman. I can't believe this. Why are you doing this? No, Susato. How could you do this for... Like, no. Oh dear. Perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much. Yeah, Susato, shame on you. Thank you, Hosonaga. I'm actually, like, a little touched, but also, like, this is so messed up. Damn. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? Did she cover the medical side of the argument? Okay. Youngster did have a motive. I don't know, man. I mean, we found out a lot, but I'm like trying to find a hole in his statements and I'm not really seeing one. Because what we found out isn't even related to what he's talking about. Hmm.
Hold it!
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mambami-san's nature to do something so awful. But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant.
Objection!
And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law. Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings. With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused. So do I.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. Yes. Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Membami-san. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Well,
Hold it!
I don't know. This is our last one. Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Membami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Membami-san's abilities. Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. I really don't know. This is hopeless. Can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing... Okay. I know, but I really don't see anything. Am I really supposed to find something to present? We did! Oh, that's not good. We literally examined everything. Oh dear. That means something I found has to be presented on. Oh no. Oh no. Which one? This one, right? A good reason? Oh, shoot. Which one? What did we find again? The poison? But we found so much stuff. Wait. Oh, they were saying new things? Something about him taking responsibility. I wanna... Can I read the article? Oh, this is new. Okay. Following a lecture, you may... On the 11th, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Deadly in tiny quantities. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth... Oh, this is gonna be just like... I'm getting war flashbacks of the first... of the first, game. The last game. I have to be so particular about this because I remember I struggled that I had forgotten that he had that Dr. Wilson went to the dentist, and I was like, oh, you know, it killed him because it went through a wound, and I was like, wait, how did it kill him? Why did it kill only him? Oh god, that was the struggle. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade. Poison-laced blade. So knife or the pen, maybe? Via the mouth or via a wound would prove fatal. So either way this time. Okay. They really are coming for Giselle Brett, huh? Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. University would have to be consulted. Why is the poison being developed? Because... Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes. Starting with impaired breathing. Aha. Ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Gotcha. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Oh boy. Impaired breathing. Interesting. August 11th. Very interesting. Okay. Poison article. So, that's it. That's it, for sure.
Objection!
No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. What? Ha! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified? It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Imperial Yume University.
Objection!
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case. Oh, I wish. But... Prosecutor Ouchie, you will let the defense speak. Thank you, Judge. But a newspaper article! The court cannot rely on this kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry. Excuse me? Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion. Good thing I just read it again. Your Excellency? Yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says, deadly in tiny quantities, yes. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Membami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What?
There we go, some progress at last.
This is complete and utter nonsense!
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
Oh, please. This is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind.
You mean farting? Breaking a wind? What? Excuse me?
Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the students should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, Yoko?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly...
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words.
It did mention, like, the symptoms, right? About the pupils and her breathing. So, and Ray already should have known because she was working on the poison. And I guess she already would have known that it had been stolen.
But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. Oops. Sorry. I've seen it many times from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
It would be in the post-mortem report, right? They mentioned... Yeah, the pupil constriction. Present that.
Take that!
I would ask the court to refer to the notes section... Sorry. To the notes section of the post-mortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in the victim.
Ugh!
Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please, do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well...
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies.
If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you yokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely.
Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison. Poison immediately, without doubt.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree, this is very compelling evidence.
You! Yokel student and yokel professor!
Why are you calling everybody yokel this, yokel that? That's a new term you've been using this whole LP now.
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No! Not again.
Eugene Mikotoba,
Yes, Your Excellency.
I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please.
But he doesn't know.
It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know.
You don't know.
The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic! Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper?
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father,
Tch! A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
that's totally unfounded.
Hold it.
Oh, who was that actually? Oh, hold it! Oh. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. I was wondering if she would speak up. It's all my fault. Ray,
Membami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
but it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew. I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount, it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out.
Get it back? Girl? How are you to get it back?
Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? You don't mean... Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Giselle Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable.
You want to let somebody dangerous who's already committed murder have a dangerous poison and not say anything? Stupid girl. Come on now.
I know it was you who stole the poison.
Oh, I haven't voiced her in forever. Dang. Okay, hold on. She was fun to voice back in the day. Oh, okay.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
Was it something like that? It was like super British. Super
Well now, whatever do you mean?
something like that? Oh man, cuz I can't see. I don't remember what I did. Or was it more posh? I think it was much more posh. Oh, I can't remember. Dang it. Oh ho ho. Was it like much more oh ho ho? Oh, I don't know. It was fun. I had fun voicing her. But like it's hard to get into that mental zone so easily. I think it's easier if I had her image right in front of me.
Well now, whatever do you mean?
Ah, oh well. Whatever. She's dead. It doesn't matter.
And then she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor.
She was just dead just like that? Not even a scream of pain? What?
That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it.
In other words, you realize that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
Maybe she couldn't scream because of like being stabbed in the lung, right? And yeah. She probably couldn't even scream.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade of the knife in her back.
Then that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you have confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here in this courtroom now.
I feel like they should always let them testify, but half the time I feel like they don't let them. Like they don't want to let them talk. So it's kind of like, whatever.
Objection!
Well, I know that like in real courtrooms, a lot of the times it's because, they say it's because when they let them testify, it's they worry that because they have to get cross-examined, right? They don't get to just go up there and talk. then they're subject to being questioned by the other side. And then they poke holes at them, and then they show any weaknesses. And when they show weaknesses, then that's where the problems lie, right? They seem less sympathetic. But then at the same time, it's like, don't you also kind of seem more sympathetic sometimes? So I don't know, if I was a defense attorney, half the time, especially if you really genuinely believe your client, I'd be like, yeah, let them testify. You know? Seriously. Other times, if like, especially if you know they're guilty, don't let them go up there. But seriously, 100%, if they're innocent, let them get up there.
Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed? Well, you have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
Objection!
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
Yeah, this is where the the problems come up. There's always something. What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it. Almost like he's like, oh, here we go.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Ouchie.
I almost... Okay. The person who I think is the guilty party, he hasn't called him up as a witness. He's been lingering in the background. Mr. Paparazzi. Like, why? Right? Is it because he's a shady mofo? Like, why? Why has nobody talked about him? Why? He's literally like the pink elephant in the room. Like, what's going on, y'all? Why? Why is he invisible? Is he a ghost? Is he dead? Like, is he not supposed to... Is he a hallucination that... Am I the only one who sees him? Like, what's going on, y'all? He's there, right? Am I crazy? They did kind of briefly mention him. Sus. I feel like I said, like, I thought they were just saving him for later because he did it. But now I'm like, Ouchie, are you hesitant about bringing him up because he's a problem for you? What's going on? What's going on, bro? Talk to me, Ouchie. Let's have a therapy session. I think you need therapy, bro. You need therapy. He needs help after losing his hair.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What?
I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you've brought this on yourself.
Oh, is this the first time we're actually gonna see a little bit of Giselle Brett's face now? Without the eye mask? Whoa! That's so weird. Whoa! Whoa! This picture. Whoa! That looks weird. What the... Who is this talking? Is this... us? Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature.
She didn't look murderous, she looked sad.
For it shows the precise moment that Memami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No.
No, that's not true. No. I don't believe it. Ah! Come on.
Order, order, order. Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom? Stop screaming, woman. Man. Aren't you a man?
Perhaps his voice has yet to break? Though these yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature.
You know, Ouchie, your voice is pretty shrill yourself.
I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now, Susato's starting to show her face here.
It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
Cogent? Photographic print taken at the moment the victim was attacked. My friend Ray can be seen kneeling over Miss Brent. I can't believe he's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time. It's such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph? Ray. That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
I mean, who else could it be except the paparazzi?
Oh,
Objection!
that's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important.
Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony, finally.
Oh, no, I've been trying to avoid it.
I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
But that will be happening in the next episode. We will finally be bringing that person out into the spotlight next time. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying this. God, I got through another episode. It's late, y'all. I got work tomorrow. Work has been killing me. I don't know, man. I really wish I could just quit. But I need money. I don't know. Anyway, I'm hanging in there. Hope y'all are hanging in there. Let's all hang in there together. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Paparazzi. Ouch!